Well, good morning, everybody. I actually caught a little bit of the show yesterday. This show, my show. And I feel bad for your ears. Let me tell you why. Because after I heard the intro, because some people say it's too long, too boring, all that stuff. Okay, so as soon as the intro was done, which is a whole maybe minute, then I heard myself with this voice go, "Hello, everybody." And I was like, oh my God, for people that have ear pods in, headphones, in the car, woo, my apologies. I'll try to keep it on the down low. How is everyone doing this morning? I saw Laura said she's had her notification on since yesterday. She said she's been waiting on this. Can we first have a huge round of applause to Cat OG for another phenomenal thumbnail, please? And good morning. Well, I tell you what, you all had a lot to say after yesterday's show. I think we can all agree. Josie probably does not need to be back with the Wells. Nothing you can do after he turns 18. But we are live and shit. And the McDonough Affect, which we've talked about before, is real. And it affects people that don't like the truth. Okay, let me explain. Hunter is now an adult. And if you say his name 3 times, Andrew Hiltz like Beetlejuice, he might pop up because he knows his face is in the thumbnail. Grab your zippers, ladies. Don't get too slippery, if you know what I mean. Come on, Andrew. Josie will be 16 in a couple of months. First off, let's take a minute and tell everyone good morning and whew, almost a Friday. And look at that. Dawn, Grandma of 3, gifted 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Get your umbrellas. Well, I'll tell you what, I need all the love I can get. Because the show yesterday, I got into some trouble with YouTube. Because I said something, well, I was talking about people that take up for Dawn and Candace. Listen, I'm not here to solve a crime. No way I could do it. Hell no, I don't have a badge. I can't collect evidence. You think I got some forensic lab out in my garage? Nope, impossible. Forget it. But I was talking about the naysayers, the ones that say Jeannie, Trish, Mary, Marlena, Leslie, Allie, Hunter, True, Jose. They're all lying. Clyde Trent, I forgot about her. Clyde is lying. Everyone's lying. But I said, I can't believe these people are taking up, and I was listing off certain things. Well, one thing that YouTube didn't like me saying was, and you're taking up for a dog effort. Boy, YouTube has got real sensitive. They are really, really wearing their feelings on their shirt sleeve, are they not? Is it illegal to say dog fucker? I guess so. Let's get our umbrellas and say thank you very much to Dawn, Grandma of 3. Britt said, so you say it again? Oops, did I do it again? Oops, she did it again. She said dog fucker, and YouTube gets pissed. Oh, baby, baby. I can't help it. That's just how I talk. And look at that, 41 months for Ange. My goodness, what am I supposed to do with you guys? What am I supposed to do? I know what I'm going to do. We're going to go through your comments from yesterday, and then we're going to today's show, the McDonough Affect. All right, K-Town said they signed their rights away so they wouldn't get charged with child abuse. End of story. It's the same here in Florida. And since they signed their rights away, also they cannot get Josie back and won't, in my opinion. Weirder things have happened, especially in this case. Trish Forever said, is that Lisa, the same Lisa K that has something to say? If so, I can't believe anything she says because I've listened to her and caught her in a lot of lies. I am Summer's Army. Justice for Summer Wells. Absolutely. Yeah, we're not going to worry about people that take up for dog fuckers. DJ said, why didn't the family in Utah know that Candace and Dawn had a 5-year-old daughter until she went missing? Interesting that you bring this up. And it's something I've always pondered on until I actually took a minute to think about it. It's because she's 5. And he knows what he did to his sisters. For real. Now remember, if I highlight your comment, send me an email, and you go into a drawing. You're going to love it. Good morning, butterfly kisses. Saffron said, fact, no one would be able to get up on that hill. Who was on the hill and left? Grandis and Summer. Those two. Period. Where is Grandis's other missing child? I don't know. She says, I swear, Grandis reminds me of the weird-looking mom off the Goonies. All right, let's look at it. I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
How long are you going to look at that window? Long enough to see you need about 400 roach motels in this place.
Okay. How the hell am I supposed to create without this goddamn piece of shit?
Che cazzo questi sono?
Jay, these boys are customers.
Devo dire, ma questo è il nome ristorante.
Zitta, zitta, stupida, non capisce niente.
Va bene, mamma, ho capito. Boys, you make yourselves comfortable, eh? Mamma, butta fuori questi stringetti, eh? She's gonna cook you something.
What do you want?
Lots of water.
4 waters. Is that all?
No. I want the Venus skeleton. I want a Puccini Alfredo. A bottle of fettuccine in 1981.
The only thing we serve is tongue. You boys like tongue? That's all?
Yeah.
Shut up!
Oh, you like him? He does.
Can we go ahead and give Saffron the comment of the day? I get the resemblance. I really do. All right, overnight, actually this was from before. Let me scroll up. Got all that stuff about Josie. This is what Dawn posted yesterday. Thank you, God. One less thing we have to worry about concerning our children. I think he means one less thing we don't have to worry about. Just in, the Supreme Court on Wednesday upheld a Tennessee law restricting gender transition care for minors. Listen, Dawn, I'm going to try to do this the best I can because I don't speak Dawn. Nobody is trying to turn Josie into a girl. Okay? No one. And even though I thought Lisa won yesterday, I think you're going to go ahead and get the idiot of the week. Dawn, if you want your t-shirt, please send an email to cll72020@gmail.com. I can't print them fast enough. But I'll tell you what, who can't print things fast enough? That's our old buddy, Chris McDonough. Like him or hate him, he knows what he's doing. Now, I understand that people want to talk about something that happened 30 some years ago. Cool. I couldn't imagine being judged on one thing as opposed to an entire career of doing the right thing. He has brought a lot to the table regarding the disappearance of Summer Wells. This is true. He has. You can't take it from him. Nope, you cannot. But it's got some people real heated. Why? Because what he's speaking is the truth. Hunter is an adult now. He doesn't have to be questioned like he's a child. He doesn't have to be coddled anymore. Put a 1 in chat if you think Hunter could possibly know more. And let's get to this.
And Grandis is looking at Allie. So the dynamics of this table, this is a critical point for all of us to listen to the response. Okay. All of this is going to be very important to what he's going to say.
Is drunk. She tends to, but she gets drunk and high at the same time.
Yep.
She tends to think that she loses the kids, but they're out front in the yard. That's what I was thinking.
Got it. So this is something that's happened in the past?
No, she hasn't went missing. It's just that she got high and drunk and forgot that Summer was outside.
Got it. Straight up. What did she tell you?
She was like, Summer's missing. So I was just like, okay, bro, why don't you just go look outside? She says, what happened? She ain't there. I said, well, call Allie then, because I don't know if she's still pulling a leg. Because if I tell her to call Allie, she'll call me back. And then I'll call Mom and be like, did she tell you this? Or was she just messing around?
Got it.
Okay, so Karen, what's your read on what we just heard there for a second? I want to go back over it again because this is a critical linchpin to where I think this thing can go.
Yeah, and I was looking at.
I just love his wife. And let me tell you what, she is the sweetest woman. What always got me about this interview is the concern with the adults by what Hunter is saying. Now, I think we can all agree nobody had any concern for Summer Wells. We can agree. They all know a lot. They all know a lot about how Summer was treated. They all know a lot. Good morning, Jules. Hey, PE Island girl. They all know a lot. But the way that Grandbun looks over at Allie, and Allie starts looking down like, what? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Of course, here's a clip of my favorite part.
Which ones was she watching?
She was just watching. If I can remember it, not.
I love that yelling at the neighbor. Sandra!
At Grandbun which is Allie's grandmother. That's not Hunter's grandmother. Hunter's grandmother is a woman named Sherry. Sherry is Allie. Okay, Allie's, I just want for people in chat who don't know. Allie is the woman in pink. Her mother's name is Sherry. She's not here at all at this table. Sherry's mom is Grand Bun. So this is Hunter's great grandmother. And I was picking up on the looks that Grand Bun was sending to Allie as Hunter was speaking, as Chris was asking him the questions about Candace. You know, Candace calls him at 7:30 at night. He's with his girlfriend. They're at a park. Okay. But yet Allie knows what was said on the phone between Candace and Hunter. And to your point, Chris, he's tossing it to his mom as obviously, you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. Deflection. This is always one of the challenges when you don't get to interview one person one-on-one. It's never optimal as a homicide detective or even as a journalist to do these group interviews because it's too easy for them to play off each other.
I'm going to interrupt beautiful Karen right there because let me tell you what, she's one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. She's right. Hence why when they question people, they break them up and they do it one-on-one. It's not really an option here. Chris is not working in a law enforcement capacity, okay? But he got a ton of information out. A ton of information. Hence why he kept correcting Allie, saying, no, I don't want you to answer. No. You weren't there. I want him to answer.
Each other, and you don't get all the truth. So anyway, that's my thought.
Yep. And so we have an access point here in this conversation.
Oh, let's make this clear. And I know this for a fact. He reached out to Allie on Facebook, and she was more than willing to have him come over. He didn't just show up in the Airstream with his cameras and his wife and make the trip. No. It was all arranged. Now, I know later, and I am not talking bad about someone who has passed away. And I know she tried to kind of play it off that way. She might have been a little embarrassed. And maybe, you know, he was covering for what she said because he didn't want to embarrass her further. But I can tell you right now, he was invited. Does Grand Bun look like someone that's going to let someone storm up onto the porch and drink Mountain Dew out of their coffee cups? No.
And what's happening is it's causing him stress. Okay. And when an individual gets stressed, especially at 15 or that age, okay, that stress has to go somewhere. And that's what transfer is. Okay. Sometimes if this was a controlled environment, I would have had him, you know, in a much better position where I could see his entire body. I could, you know, watch him, listen to him, and then watch, you know, various things. And usually that stress can come out through the, you know, the hands, the shaking, and it's coming out through the popping. Okay. And, you know, his feet were moving. They were going 100 miles an hour. He kept looking over at his mom. Okay. And so this was a very stressful time for him because he's now going to somehow fill in the blanks about Candace calling him and saying, Summer is missing. Summer is missing. What do I do? And he tells the mother of a missing child, well, call and he starts giving her directions. Okay. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why is Candace calling him to say, hey?
Exactly. Let's talk about the writing on the wall. Summer is missing, but you call Hunter, who's about 45 minutes, an hour away. He's got to track down his mom? For what? For what? She calls people who couldn't possibly help. They're too far away. I get calling Don. Don's the daddy. But you call Hunter? I mean, hell, Jody Sue's just standing across the street. Why wouldn't you call her first? She called Marlena at 4:41 to say she couldn't find Summer. 4:41. Now we know the 911 call came through. I'm not going to get down to the exact minute or second. I'm just going to say around 6:30. But all these phone calls and all this, Summer's missing. Now the big question is, why call a 15-year-old boy when your daughter's missing? Another question is, with the rift between Allie and Candace and Grandis, and we all know that rift had to do with Jose and everybody wanting that pogo stick. Huge rift. Police involved, domestic violence, you name it. Why, the day of, did you decide to go pick up Hunter? Why? 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 And I'm going to make it clear, I don't care how this meeting came apart. I don't care. I don't care how it became. I don't know. I could care less. I know that it has helped the case of Summer Wells. I don't care if he saw him at a gas station. I don't care. I really don't.
Summer's missing. What should I do? And how does he qualify it? Well, she's stoned a lot and she drinks a lot and she's out of her mind a lot. And the kids, basically what he's doing is he projects this image of the entire family being disheveled and completely disorganized and chaos, and that she loses sight of her kids often. Okay. And so he's given her direction. Well, call Allie. I call my mom sitting next to me. Ask her. Okay. That doesn't. Do you guys see why that doesn't make sense for a 15-year-old to tell a 30-year-old something woman whose child is missing?
Well, I also took it that Hunter was trying to decipher on this call with Candace. Is Candace high and drunk, and does she just lose the kids? Are they around
Exactly.
on the other side of the house, or is this legit?
I agree. But he was surprised by the fact that she's asking him what to do. Okay.
I'm surprised by all of it. You can't find your daughter and you're an hour away and you call Hunter a kid? That makes no sense. And he goes, well, call Allie. Call my mom. And I get where Hunter would think she's probably stoned or something. She might just be drunk and just lost track of Summer and just wants to sit there and sit on the phone. It makes no sense. Think about it. If you can't find your child, okay, I don't even want to imagine it. Who would you call? And again, why was it imperative to Can't to pick up Hunter that day? Why was it imperative to Can't to take her mother, who she does not give a shit about, to the ER that day. Why? A lot of odd things went on. I would say from October of 2020, actually, I'll say from when Andrew Hiltz came down with Jose. Dawn was in Utah with Josie. Shit went down in October. The rug got pulled out from everyone. Dawn comes rolling in. He's pissed. He didn't realize all the debauchery he was left out of up on the hill. Couldn't believe it. Then we have the week before. Marlena's daughter is up there. Marlena makes an accusation about something that happened at the house. I'm not going to say it. You can put 2 and 2 together because we're still talking about a minor child. CPS shows up on the 14th. They say they got to come back. I'm assuming because they didn't get to see Summer. Then we have the 15th. Summer goes missing. And after all this time and this huge rift, we pick up Hunter. Now also, we have the 17th of June. That is an important day. Because with a little girl missing, her own daughter, Candace Wells, Camp, her own daughter, missing, she went out of her way to go to this house with the dining room table on the front porch to ask Hunter specifically, what did you tell TBI? What did the agent from TBI say? Don't talk to Candace. They didn't mention Grandis. They didn't mention Dawn. Don't talk to Candace. Then they asked what she was driving.
And so he's pushing that back, right?
Summer's missing. So I was just like, okay, bro, why don't you just go look outside?
See, Summer's missing. Okay, well, why can't you go look outside? Now, that's an interesting principle. Because she's calling from inside the house, maybe? Is she calling from inside the house to say, Summer's missing? Well, at what point did she call him? Were the cops there already? Was the investigation already ongoing? Because we know they weren't inside the house because the law enforcement got there and kept them all outside of the house. I know that for a fact. So he's saying, well, go outside. So did they have a conversation that we don't know more about?
Well, and the time is interesting too, because he says that Candace calls him at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yep. But is that?
That's it. Can I get a what? Can I get a what? For Laura, she was doing damage control. Damage control. And the damage control, in my opinion, because I have to say it on YouTube, they don't like when you present something as facts. They don't like when you say dog fucker either. Can I get a what? The damage control started the morning of the 15th when she made sure Hunter had eyes on Summer. Called him later in the afternoon to say Summer's missing. What the hell is he going to do? Wasn't he in Bristol with his girlfriend? Then on the 17th, what did you tell the TBI?
That, and remember, we've also got the 2:00 in the afternoon 911 call where, the dispatcher says, yeah, she said she was going out for a walk.
Was that at 2 or was that at 7?
No, it was earlier. It was between, I think, 2 and 4. I have to go back and look at my notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Candace's fat ass don't walk nowhere. Went on a walk. What is she, Richard Simmons of the Holler? Get real. And I know people like to dissect this and go, I think she meant she was walking over to her mom's trailer. Now, that's another odd thing. For one, it's not unusual for someone who's been in the hospital all day to come home and want to take a nap. But you're talking about a hot, muggy day. Do you really want to curl up in that tin can with no air conditioning? Or be somewhere where you at least got a fan on you? Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. What'd she do? Sleep on all the paper towels and all the shit she has in there? That tin can was basically storage. Gran sleeps in the house.
this would have been a couple of hours after that 911 call was made.
Correct.
I have been. She ain't there. I said, well, call Allie then, because I don't know if she's still pulling a leg. Because if I tell her to call Allie, she'll call me back. And then I'll call mom and be like, did she tell you this? Or was she just messing around?
Got it. So you call your mom
Yeah, I call her on Facebook after she picks up.
and gave her a heads up that
Candace was going to call.
Candace's going to call her and tell her that Summer's missing. Straight up. So at that point, does she call you again? Just that night?
Nah, she called me the next day saying that she's sitting in the police station.
She's sitting in the police station?
Yeah.
And
Now, think about that. Think about the math there. The law enforcement takes her down to the PD, and Candace feels it's important to call him and have a conversation with him. Now, we don't know the totality of what that conversation was. We just have to take it for face value right now that he says the next day she's at the police department and she has the frame of mind to call Hunter. Okay. I think that's really weird.
It's beyond weird. So you're sitting at the police station. They have Candace down there. Now, notice when Hunter is telling, I'll say, when he's recollecting on what had to have been a crazy day. But when he starts the yawning and the popping 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 and the popping, he's nervous as hell. I personally don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think Hunter did anything wrong. But I think the intimidation factor got him to skate around to keep himself out of it as much as he could. And it's never going to go away.
What's going on there?
what does she say about that?
She says they want to do another polygraph test on me.
Another polygraph?
They want to do another polygraph. That means they've already done one, and now they want to do two. So the first one was probably inconclusive. And they want to do a second one.
Polygraph test?
Yeah.
How many polygraph tests did they do that you know of?
I just know two.
Two?
Yeah.
And how did she do on those polygraphs? Did she tell you?
She did not tell me. She just said she had to do that, and I just ignored her the rest of the time.
Okay.
Okay, you see, he doesn't want to give me that answer. I just ignored her the rest of the time. So that's information that's not solicited. It's fill. It's filler. It's gap. Okay. And this is going to be significant because at some point, Candace comes over to the house now. Now, mind you, he calls him from the police department and says they want to give me another polygraph.
Okay. Again, why is Candace confiding in a kid? Why? Calls him from the police department? Talk to your husband, can't? Talk to your husband. Talk to your mama. Talk to Robin. Hell, I don't care. Talk to Jody Sue. Why are you talking to Hunter? In a way, it's not even in a way. This leaning on Hunter, I've never understood. Calling him from the police department? And as far as I know, Hunter was already in trouble. He already had a probation officer. He don't want no calls from someone sitting at the police station. I think it's more intimidation. And says, I have to take another polygraph. Well, dum-dum, you don't have to. You really don't. You don't have to do anything. You really don't. But if people believe what Jose said, she deflowered Hunter. That's the nicest way I can say it for YouTube. And it's sick and it's disgusting.
Why are you telling a 15-year-old this? What's going on with this piece of the puzzle? Okay.
Look where I paused it. Look at Chris sitting there by old Mountain Dew and the coffee cups. Poor Karen. Is that his O face? You know, we have a way of pausing on people's O faces.
And, you know, Hunter's the kind of kid that is thinking about Summer. And of course, they have a family relationship with Don and Candace. But, you know, Andrew doesn't live there. He's in a different state. You know, he's not going to throw his son under the bus. That no father would. So you got to give him credit. And then we get, you know, Allie's sitting there going, okay, well, how far does this go? And what's the exposure level of Hunter? You know, and this is where I go back to Hunter now, who's 19 years old. You hold the keys and you can help. You can help your dad, you can help your family, and more importantly, you can help Hunter. Or excuse me, you can help Summer. And by the way, there's a reward. You can get that too. If you have information that would lead to the arrest and conviction of the.
There was a reward at the time, but that got ripped away. And for those that say, well, everybody knew if it wasn't solved in 6 months, that it was going to go to the Child Advocacy Center, piss on that. Piss on that. That Child Advocacy Center didn't do one thing to help any of those kids. Hence why Josie is up for adoption.
Individual that hurt her, if that's the case. So those are kind of things that you can contemplate, you know, going forward.
Because they told me not to even get contact of her.
Got it. The police told you don't contact her.
No, the TBI told me.
TBI, don't contact her.
Well, it's some funny crap how they tell me. I'm not dissing them or nothing. I'm just saying how they tell me that I'm going to get my phone that Monday afternoon, and it's been almost 2 months straight now.
Okay.
It's been a month.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting there is he also sees levels of authority. Because when I said the police told you that, i.e. the sheriff's department, he goes, no, the TBI. So in his mind, that's like a bigger deal for them to say, don't contact Candace. Why?
I have stressed this for years. It is a huge thing in a case when a potential witness, I'm going to go ahead and say in this case, a witness is told not to talk to a suspect. Do not talk to that suspect. Do not talk to her. Listen, we're not law enforcement here, but we can put 2 and 2 together. Do not talk to Candace. Jolly Life, what's up? Hiltz wants 16 million for what, man? What's going on? I thought he was changing his channel in some kind of like nature channel and is pissed off because McDonald's won't take EBT cards. He wants 16 million? Hell's going on? By the way, where is Andrew? I'm going to play this. I'm going to try to call Andrew.
Because in his mind, the TBI is much bigger to the sheriff's department in Hunter's mind. Because it was the agent from TBI, according to him, who said, don't contact her at all. Don't contact her. Now, we don't know if they put a trap on her phone. We don't know if there's any conversations about that. That could very well be reality. They just didn't get any incriminating information or evidence.
Well, they're just trying to line up your story.
I understand that.
And that's important, right? I mean, you know that.
Yeah, it's just that
For Summer.
I gave them all the proof that would line up the story.
I totally agree. Okay. But at the same time, the investigation's fluid.
Yeah,
okay.
Facts.
So I know where your heart is for Summer. And so as a result of that, you know, they're going to hold on to that phone and they're going to connect all those dots. And that's the right thing to do, right? Would you agree with that? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that said now.
Now, the interesting thing here is Allie's nodding her head. And Allie's gone. She's deceased now. So I know a lot of people, you know, believe that, you know, she was holding back. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, right? And the whole reason we're having this conversation tonight is because we still believe, and I believed back then, and you just heard me say it. This was 4 years ago. You heard me say, you'd want to do this for Summer. And that 15 versus 19 is a whole different game now. Because now, Hunter, you can make your own decisions.
Exactly. There it is. 15 versus 19 is totally different. I'm going to try to call Andrew real quick. Andrew Hiltz. Hold on. Give me a second. We'll see if he answers. Come on, Andrew. Oh, hell, it's a video call. I don't want to see him. Damn it, I didn't mean to hit that. Son of a bitch. You're the only one here. No shit, I am. How the hell did I hit that button? Stop. Yeah, leave the call. Jeez, I want a video with him. Damn, I don't have my lipstick on. Son of a bitch. Hold on. Andrew. God.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please
Pay your bill, Andrew. Son of a bitch, man. Pay your bill. I'm not bitch mama bear. Tell Andrew to pay his bill.
And I will treat you with the same respect if you would talk to me about it. And that's a guarantee. And you know that because you were respectful to me and I was respectful to you. and your mom was, and your grandmother. And, I think we can get through that. And I think the yawning, I see folks are talking about the yawning and stuff. Some of that could be deception, but some of that could also, he's releasing stress. And he is also probably ADHD, like we talked about. So it's a stress mechanism to stall, but simultaneously to release. Okay. It's release. It's kind of like when some person is running, right? And you finally get to them and you ask them, well, why were you running away? It takes them a second and they pretend that they're losing their breath, but what they're really doing is thinking about how they're going to present it to you. Okay? I think some of that is also what's going on with Hunter at that point.
Chris, you know where else we saw the yawning in the police interview? Stefan Stearns. Remember that?
Yeah.
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 It's a stall tactic. It's a stall tactic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More so than just being, hey, I'm going to lie to you.
Anyone have an uneducated opinion on that? Is it a stall tactic? That B Mama Bear says, believe what you want. I know you do, girlfriend. Ain't no shame in your game, and I love being your friend. I love having you here because I know you're on the right side of what needs to be done. Woo! Woo! Now, no offense to old Karen, who I adore. She's a super sweet lady. I don't think I'd be ready to be comparing Hunter to Stefan Stearns, but that's just me. That's just me.
Because at some point, if they realize they're going to keep lying, okay, then where are they going to go? Lies are just as powerful as the truth in a court of law during a homicide investigation. They're just as powerful.
She contacts you again, says she's at the police station, has to take another polygraph.
And then she shows up the next day.
The next day
Now, you see how significant that was?
He even points for emphasis. She even showed up the next day. Now, to set it, I believe June 15th was a Tuesday. Candace calls him at 7:30. The next day, Wednesday, she's in the police department, and that's when she calls him again. And so this would be Thursday, 2 days after, when she shows up. She even comes by.
Yeah, within 2 days, and Summer is still missing at this point. Now, think about the totality of that. Your daughter is missing from your alleged abduction or property or whatever, and you call the 15-year-old boy, and then you tell him, hey, they're giving me polygraphs. I have to take a second one. And then the next day, she shows up at your house instead of waiting at the house or working with the authorities and saying, okay, here's what's going on with my daughter. I need your help. Most families, most parents will marry.
I would lose my friggin' mind if some deadbeat 30-something-year-old who looks rode hard and hung up wet was calling my child from the police station and involving him in something as horrific as this. If they thought Summer wandered off, they would not be putting up crime scene tape. They wouldn't have searched the house 11 times. TBI slipped. I've heard the recording, and no, I am not going to play it. Absolutely not going to play it. People call. They called. Have every right to. Especially with what was said on, well, my show last Monday. Not Monday the 16th, Monday the 9th. About how this tip has come through and stuff like that. We can't blame the parents. We're not blaming the parents. We don't know. We don't know. Dude, we're not investigators. How would we know? Like I said, you think I got some forensic lab out in my garage? Hell no. Hell no. But TBI slipped and said this is a homicide investigation. Let's take a moment and tell our friend Pat, thank you for making it rain. Exactly, Sonia. We speak the facts we have. We speak the facts we have. All we know is what they've said.
Harry, the police department, because they know you're the only one that can hope, that brings them hope. In this case, he's more concerned about what Hunter may or may not know. And she makes that clear. And by the way, the authorities have her phone and they have his phone, and that's why he's complaining. They took each other's phones. They took both phones, and for the obvious reasons, to download all of the information that's coming into this. And so at this point, he thinks it's important to say that Candace came over to the house.
Shows up where?
Here, does you not?
Well, so you were interviewed by TBI on Wednesday. She came here Thursday.
So 2 days after or a day after?
2 days after.
And then what happened when she got here?
She got here. She was like telling me how she talked to them and was like, don't mention about the alcohol, but I didn't mention it.
Did she say?
Don't mention about the alcohol. Okay. Now, we remember Candace in all her glory. No bra, Dawn's basketball shorts on, Mom Patrol shirt. And she's standing out by the pond. I'll just call it a pond. And she said, if my mom was here right now, she'd tell you that tea was for her. We fast forward to when Grandis gave her one and only interview. She removed herself from the whole situation. All right, I'm going to flip back. We're going to go back and forth here a little bit, okay? This is a segment I like to call Ask Andrew. Woo! Here we go. The McDonough Affect. He's pissed.
If they needed to speak to him again, they fucking would.
Exactly.
People on YouTube need to stop.
So
Stop
you want to
acting like you're
dig?
fucking cops when you ain't.
You want to dig into my world? Okay. Now it's my turn to dig into yours. You're not a cop. Stop acting like it. Okay?
He's retired. He's retired. No one says he's a cop right now. Muscles, what's up, girl? Good morning. I'm a member for 39 months. I want everyone to wrap Muscles in some love. She has had a very, very rough couple of weeks. Can we all give her some love, please? So when people say, he's not a cop, he's not a cop, he's not a cop, tell it to law enforcement in Missouri, where the Cold Case Foundation helped with the case of murdered Michaela Jones. Tell it to law enforcement in Fruitland, Idaho, where he worked tirelessly on the case of abducted Michael Vaughn. Know your role, Andrew.
You're not. You lost your badge due to one Michael Crow because of your antics. And you think I'm going to allow my son around you?
I want to let you all know this is not true. He did not lose his badge, okay?
I'm not his mother. I'm his father. You got a whole nother fucking world to worry about, buddy.
Woo! Woo! Damn, Andrew. Woo!
Beg, plead, offer any amount of money you think that boy would want, or I'd want. It ain't happening either way. I'm not his mother. I'm not a fucking sellout.
Woo, Andrew. Woo! Andrew? Andrew? I know you're listening. Did your wife forget to take your restraint off? We all know how mad she gets when you don't put hot dogs in her macaroni and cheese. We all know how mad she gets when you drink all the Pepsi. Did she forget to take your collar off?
Things the wife made. Wife made handmade necklaces. They were just too short. No, honey, I have not moved. I am still where I have been for the last almost 2 years. Oh, I have a guest.
Oh, we're in the same spot. Just
Hello.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. I could have been better.
Me too.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know why people got to keep doing this. Mama Bear didn't have anything good to say about Chris McDonough till what now? Now that he's out here trying to act like he's important again.
The problem is he's not important.
No, and he's not important to this case at all. He's not even allowed to be working this case. Why is he doing it again?
Who said? Who said Chris McDonough can't use the internet? Who said? Who said? And why do they always bring up Mama Bear? Mama Bear knows her shit. Who said Chris McDonough can't use the internet? Come on now. A lot of retired detectives will lend their experience when needed, and in some cases, when asked. That is crazy.
Exactly. That's all that is for content.
And here's another thing, other than I'm balding really horribly.
I know.
Here's another thing. McDonough's trying to pull those tactics he pulled on Michael Crow. It's not going to happen.
no. Again, the same statement I said earlier still applies. If TBI, which is the actual fucking law, not someone who used to be law, wanted to talk to him, they know where he is. All these fucking idiots on YouTube, Mama Bear, Act Right, all of them, can go fuck themselves and leave my son alone.
Dippy,
What?
you want to take care of that one?
I'm looking. I'm trying. It's gone already.
No.
How? Are they still here?
Back.
Mm-hmm. Not on my phone, no.
Okay, well they got you blocked too.
Oh,
Oh no, Andrew's not just gonna
no, I can
sue.
see him on one phone, but I can't see him on the other.
Andrew isn't gonna sue. Andrew's gonna give the man a chance to
There
shut
they
his
are.
mouth.
Yeah,
And then if the man does
Like
not
you
want to
guys
shut his
are
mouth,
fucking somewhere.
then I'm gonna take it to legal. And then when I'm done with legal,
access, so I can't get rid of.
I'm gonna
myself.
make sure he can no longer pose as a PI again either.
There we go.
Okay?
For cold cases.
What he is doing is far beyond illegal.
Okay. Oh no, I had like 4 last night.
Damn, Ericon.
Ain't nothing worse than a smart dumb nigga.
Classy. Classy. Listen to that. Straight out of Gloversville. Gonna take it to legal. Maybe Andrew's sweating bullets because he was around. Not at the time of Summer's disappearance, but he knows what he actually went to Tennessee for. Taking it to legal.
Donnie.
Why, thank you. And again, nobody's gonna find my son.
Nope. Quit looking.
His own life. People need to.
Okay. The interview with Hunter is almost 4 years old. Okay? In about a month, it'd be about a 4-year-old interview. What are you going to do about it now? It's been downloaded, shared, listened to, everything. What's legal going to do about this? Nothing. Nothing. This dude paid $25 a month in child support to Hunter. $25. Let me ask you all, what the hell are you going to do with $25? Hell, you can't buy a 30-pack of beer, cheap beer with that. Hell, are you going to do with $25 a month? Andrew, you have a lot to say. And you have a lot to answer for. What you don't get is now that Hunter is an adult, he can speak to whoever he wants. No holds barred.
Leave him the fuck alone. He was already cleared.
And here's
Leave him alone.
And here's another little secret. Y'all motherfuckers' pockets ain't deep enough.
Woo!
So he's got his own life.
Well, keep getting pissed off because she didn't do shit. She didn't even want Hunter to go with her that fucking day. Allie said
Hunter
it was
straight up admitted the only reason why he did get McDonough was for his mom. Because his mom asked him to. Other than that, he wouldn't have done it at all.
AB, are you missing the point? He's stopping the.
Okay, we'll come back to Ask Andrew. Let's go back to the facts of the case and what Hunter said.
Allison.
And that's mom.
Yeah, that's mom.
Okay.
And so.
But she called her Allison.
Yeah, she calls her Allison.
Okay.
And so next thing you know, I tap mom because she's half asleep because she works at the time she did. But
Now let's remember what's going on here. He's talking first person, not hearsay. He's direct evidence of Candace communicating with him on the phone that has been taken into custody by the authorities. And in those text messages, she's saying her mother is in the hospital and asking him essentially, do you want to hang out? Okay. Now, I don't want to talk about Allie. I don't want to talk about Leslie. I don't want to talk about Grandma. Okay. We are talking about Hunter. Because Hunter is the key right now. At this time, 4 years later, Hunter can turn the lock or put the key in and open the lock.
Do you agree? At this point, no holds barred. There's no more Mountain Dew. There's no more Domino's pizza. There's no more dining room table on the front porch. There's no more grand bun. Does he hold the key or not? Somebody in chat just called Andrew Squiggy, and it took me a second to think about it. Let's take a break and see if Andrew looks like Squiggy.
Your favorite truck drivers, Lenny and the Squig Tone.
If only I'd have listened to Mama. She told me this would happen to me sooner or later. If only I'd have listened to Mama, everything would be alright. Everything would be alright. She said you better wear your rubbers or you're gonna catch a death. Keep your eye on what you're eating and do something about your breath. Treat a lady like a woman, treat a woman like a man. But I was only 7 and I didn't understand. If only I'd have listened to Mama. She told me this would happen to me sooner or later. If only I'd have listened to Mama, everything would be alright. Everything would be alright. She said you're running with the crowd and it's gonna turn you bad till you end up picking pockets on the corner like your dad. I told her she was crazy, I was smarter than a buzz. But 30 days in prison showed how right my mama was. If only I'd have listened to Mama. She told me this would happen to me sooner or later. If only I'd have listened to Mama, everything would be alright. Everything would be alright. Said you better learn a trade, never make it on your looks. Take a job near a college, maybe swipe for your books. But I didn't pay attention, no, I didn't take heed. Now they're holding up a contract, asking me to read. If only I'd have listened to Mama. She told me this would happen to me sooner or later. If only I'd have listened to Mama, everything would be alright. Everything would be alright. Everything would be alright.
I get the resemblance. I get it. Whoever said he looks like Squiggy, I'm going to have to give you the comment of the day now. That was great. That was great.
What's that thing? Oh, I asked her if they could come over. She said, yeah, for a little bit, because Grandma was on her way. She was on her way. And so, she said it was okay, and she said she'd be over in like 5-10 minutes.
Now, let's think about that piece of the puzzle real fast. Allie knew that Candace was coming over, but only for a short time because the grandmother next to her to the right, Hunter's grandmother there, wasn't home yet, and she was coming home. So Allie was concerned that there would be almost like a collision of some sort, i.e., we got a lot going on here. Why is Candace coming over? So he asked permission. And yes, there are some dynamics going on about the family in terms of, the arguments between, the friends, Candace and Allie, and et cetera, and the two mothers. Okay. But let's set those dynamics over here for a moment. And let's listen to this 15-year-old at the time, who is now 19 probably. And he's putting the key in and he's turning the lock. And we have to pay really close attention to what locks he's starting to open 4 years later.
I'm telling you, I don't do good with times because I really don't look at the clock. So if I mess up sometimes, that's on me. Because I'm really bad with them times.
You're 15.
Yeah. And so she pulls up, she gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father.
Supposedly, the kids went to work with the father.
Okay. Again, a very strange conversation to have with a 15-year-old. Why would he give a shit where the kids are? Why would he care where the boys are? Why did Candace make sure to drop little nuggets throughout the day that Summer Wells went missing? Another question I've always had, because it perplexes me. When Candace took a phone call, he asked her, "Who is that?" Maybe I'm way out of tune with how kids act. Holy shit, Muscles! Holy shit! My God! We got 50 new members. Damn, girl, did you fall on the button? Why would a 15-year-old care who Candace is talking to? Hey, y'all, it's not raining right now. It's hailing. It's a hurricane. Y'all better I'll tell you what, you get your slickers, you get your boots, you get everything. Girl, you too much. You too much. Now, of course, Britain Walking Dead didn't get one. And we're going to continue prayers for Muscles and Mascara's family.
This is Hunter injecting a supposition of thought process and action to something that may have happened. So now, from an investigative analysis aspect, you would run it right up on the board. Did that happen? Because he's even questioning it.
And so
Now you say the kids. Who are the kids?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
They went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was told. Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was told. Now the question is, by who?
Go ahead.
And so I meet her, I dap everybody up. That's just how I am. So I dap her up. I said, "How you doing?" Because it's been a long time since I've heard from her.
Okay.
I hear from her like once in a while on Snapchat.
Okay. Now, dap her up means he hits her up on a text message. Okay. And he's talking about, I believe, his girlfriend at this point. Because he's thinking about inviting her over as well. And remember, there's conversation about her hanging out with him that day.
Okay.
Well, I did until I blocked her because all this stuff that's going on.
Now,
because he didn't want a conflict with his girlfriend coming over. So he really doesn't communicate with her because he wants to hang out with them. Who's them?
Now tell me what it means when you say you tapped him up. What it, so people that so people that don't know that.
Like a handshake.
Okay, so so show me.
It's just like this.
What's up, dog? Or one of those, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, go ahead. See, I knew that, but people don't know that. Right. So let's make that clear. So somebody can't.
Okay, so for people that don't know, Tara has a question. She said, "Who took away his credentials? He is an expert." I hate using the word expert, but I'll let you have it. He retired. He retired. He's not in law enforcement. He runs the Cold Case Foundation. And if you guys want to check out the playlist of Michael Vaughn, the Cold Case Foundation was intricate in busting that case. If you would like to look at the case, we have a playlist for Michaela Jones, the Cold Case Foundation was intricate in putting those scumbags behind bars.
And say, oh, look what he did. Okay.
Yeah, then so she pulls up there in front of that mailbox.
Okay.
And so I dap her up like usual. She comes in. We're all sitting down. I ask her what happened to her grandma because she wouldn't tell me over the phone.
Okay, so now when Candace comes over, he does that hand gesture as if they're, best of friends. She comes in and she starts telling her story.
She said that she hurt her knee because of kids. Where did she say she went on vacation for? Gatlinburg. She said.
So she said she hurt her knees because of the kids while on vacation in Gatlinburg. What did the kids do? Was Summer one of those kids? Was Summer in trouble?
I can answer that. I can answer that. Supposedly, all the way to Gatlinburg, all piled up in the Subaru, the kids kept beating Grandis in her bum knee. All right, I'm going to read a text to you. I don't want to put the woman's name out. On June 18th of 2021, she said, I was at the wetlands in Jonesboro, Tennessee, after Summer went missing. Her mama and the mama was there having a good old time. The only time she cried was when there was a crowd. If that was my daughter that was missing, I would be walking the streets trying to find her. That whole family is guilty as can be. Now remember, that's her opinion. When people say, oh, that didn't happen. Okay, well, I wasn't there. But it did happen. There they are. Getting ready to go down the slicker slide. I'm going to read the text again. I was at wetlands in Jonesboro, Tennessee, after Summer went missing, which was June 18th. Her mama and the mama was there having a good old time. The only time she cried was when there was a crowd. If that was my daughter that was missing, I'd be walking the streets trying to find her. That whole family is guilty as can be. That's not maddening. I don't know what is.
Was Summer in danger?
She went to Gatlinburg for a little vacation with the kids, and the kids kept kicking her leg. And she had supposedly a plastic knee or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took her to the hospital. You came in here for.
Do you know what hospital? Do you know? Not Mom. Do you know?
It's the one downtown.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, but it's the one downtown.
Okay, Mom. Do you know the name of it?
Holston Valley.
Christian Valley.
Holston Valley.
Holston Valley. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So she's here. Grandma's at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And who's with her that day?
Just Summer.
Just Summer. Okay.
Not the entire day until we pick up the grandma.
Okay, what time do you remember? I know you're not good at times. Guesstimate.
I guess the time that we picked up the grandma?
No, the time she pulls up that morning.
Had to have been like around 11, right?
Okay.
Or 10 or 11.
No, just from your memory, not from Mom's.
I think it was at least 10 because I was up all night.
And it could be wrong too, right? Okay, so let's just kind of put that right there.
Okay, this is interesting because he says that Summer is the only one with her when she comes over. All right. And the reason she's coming over is to get the grandmother who's at the hospital. Karen, what are your thoughts so far to what we're listening to? I see you, honey, just sitting there. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, Candace was coming over to get Hunter before they were going to pick up Grandis at the hospital. Just to make that clear.
Okay.
Is that what you had asked?
Yes. So
I think the major question is when you're dealing with a woman who doesn't give a shit about anyone, why was she balls to the wall, out of bed, cleared off the hangover to make sure her mom got to the ER to check out a knee that supposedly the boys beat the fucking back the week before on the way to Gatlinburg? All right, now we get back to one of my favorite segments, Ask Andrew.
Harassment,
Stalking.
intimidation,
He was told to leave him alone. He's still trying. Then he got
Immigrate.
there making post after post after post after post, trying to get a hold of fucking Hunter. Trying to.
This. How many comments of the day can we have? How many comments? You guys are on fire. Jenny, that is kind of funny. The grandmother had a bum knee. She had to go to the hospital, remember? But then goes to the water park. Walking around on that hot cement, in the flip-flops, going up and down the slicker slides. How bad was the knee? From the outside looking in, it seems that June 15th, 2021 was set up.
Come over here. Meet us here now. Do this. Do that. Hey, Hunter. Come over here. Talk to us at 5 o'clock. Do this. Hey, Andrew. You know, I'm not mad at you.
What's that thing?
Bro, so, Andrew, you know, I love you. Just come back and come talk to us.
Intimidation of a witness.
Have you missed those shorts today?
Witness tampering.
Andrew, I don't know where the hell you are, but you got to be kidding me. Intimidating a witness, witness tampering. This interview is almost 4 years old. Almost 4 years old. Chris has every right to go back through his interview with his wife to comment on it. Damn, Squiggy.
Coaching a witness?
Don't come here first when you've missed other things.
Anything else?
Okay, get the tops on them now.
You're good.
Who's talking to Andrew? That sounds like Lips. Lips, is that you? Were you the one talking to Andrew? Here, I'm going to drop the link. I should have already done it.
You're good, Amber. We love you.
420. Oh, wait. You got to wait on that one, I think.
In a lot of states, 18 is old enough for legal consent, but not old enough to be considered an adult.
Lord have mercy. As the trolls roll in.
I am almost done with this damn document. So, Mr. McDonough, your soft coaching, coaxing words to get my son's attention won't work.
Right.
His name isn't Michael Crow. His name is Hunter Mullaney, and he's smarter than you.
talking sweet to him now, and you know, nobody had nothing to say. Mama Bear, you absolutely have blamed Andrew and Hunter both for being responsible for Summer Wells. You've actually blamed me, asking me where the fuck she is. Get off your fucking catch pipe and go fucking somewhere else with your conspiracy ass.
No, Diana Lynn is not a troll.
We didn't say names. We just said as they roll in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Diana Lynn ain't a troll.
Okay, that's cool.
I've seen her around.
All right.
I've seen of a lot of them around, but not in here.
Because they're all interested on what's going on. Well, what's going on is that Chris McDonough's dirty little bullshit is screaming right back in his face.
Yeah, that's something between them, you know.
You're a fucking dirty cop. You should not even have the rights to be investigating shit. You're a dirty cop.
Deb, that's not.
I don't think he's investigating. Again, this interview was almost 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. And it seems more like he was just talking to him. It didn't seem like any sort of interrogation or investigation. Come on. And we don't smoke in the house with kids around. Could you imagine? Jeez. Calm down.
None of nobody's business.
Yeah, yes, Eric Kahn, Cheryl Crow, and Russell Crowe, I think are his parents. They got what?
Cheryl Crow? Russell Crowe?
No, they.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah. Blame. Why didn't you figure out, like, you're not even blaming suspects at this point. You're blaming victims. Stop fucking victim shaming, victim blaming, and all that shit.
And I hope to God y'all hear me when I say this. You're not going to find them, and you'll never get to them. As long as I'm still breathing, as long as my wife is still breathing, you ain't never going to get anywhere near my son.
I got this other thing that's going on the chat.
No, it ain't misguided, AB. Trust and believe.
Not at all.
Not this time, buddy.
There's no reason for anybody to be questioning Hunter at this point. He was cleared by law enforcement. Leave the kid alone.
A420, you.
Holy fuck.
I might be able to see it.
I don't know. I can't tell you why McDonough don't do shit other than he's legally not allowed.
These fucking people are obsessed. And at this point, anybody who mentions my name is going to be blamed on you, Rosie, and your daughter, okay? Screenshots. The whole works, baby girl.
No, she legally can't.
I don't have anybody else.
Ain't none of them coming near my son.
No.
Not his wife, not him, not anybody.
Ain't nobody interviewing him. There is no need for anybody to interview Hunter. Period. Leave the boy alone.
He's protected. And you don't want to know what my
Darlene, no, they protect people like Jody Sue. They protect people like Jody Sue and put them on their panel and want to help get them cash apps and all that shit just a couple weeks ago, right? That's what Mama Bear was over there doing. Jody Sue, don't go over to Remain Calm. Come over to mine. And now look where that got you, Mama Bear. Thrown out of another fucking community.
Make sure you're okay.
You're thrown out of so many goddamn communities. I don't know.
What's it matter? What's it matter who goes to what channel? I'm going to use a word that our girl Cat OG uses. Daft. Am I saying it right, Cat? Is that daft? I gotta say it like Cat in the Queen's English. Daft. Who would give a rat's ass? Who goes where? Ma. Hang on. Cat's telling me how to say it. Darft. Darft? Darft? Oh. Okay. Darft. Woo! Woo! I'm getting tingly. V. Oakley, in her Florida accent, said doffed. Thank you. Everyone's going to have to help me with my grammar. Night owl. Doffed. V. Oakley, in her Florida accent, said draft. Woo! Here we go. Here we go. Speaking of the draft, better get some good players for the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we all say it together at once? Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
Connor, leave the boy the fuck alone.
I ain't fighting with Raw.
Nobody's fighting with Roe. Nope, not at all. The account that came in here wasn't Roe. And Roe's just...
I agree with Ericon.
It's like I'm talking to Roe right now.
The boy
No,
is
it has nothing to do with bro.
no. This all has to do with McDonough and his bullshit tactics and why he's legally not supposed to be investigating any child case. But yet again, he thinks the law doesn't apply to him because he's a dirty cop.
Too classy for you. I already told you no. He's not fighting with Roe.
Oh God, now for our gardens in here. Oh wow.
Because she was tagged.
Hunter has talked. He talked to him 4 years ago. If they want to get in contact with him, they know how to.
Hunter ain't talking to nobody. Period.
No, but
Talking about TBI.
they know how to get in contact with him if they need to speak to him.
That's exactly what I just said.
So for Mama Bear to sit there and say TBI wants to talk, bullshit, bitch, bullshit. You just want information out of Hunter. That's why you tried to have your daughter fucking get it out of it, right?
I have to agree. The boy is basically full of shit. I mean, aren't we all at some point? But at the end of it, dude, it don't matter. He moved on. He started his own life. He's got his own family. He ain't coming to none of you. Hey,
left the fuck alone.
You know, my name is Andrew, and this is my channel. So go fuck yourself. Again, he ain't talking to nobody.
No one said he is. No one said he is. Krista, thank you for the super sticker. My goodness, you all are making me blush. I want to know what makes Andrew the expert on who Chris McDonough can and can't talk to. Can someone help me with that? I don't know. Seems to me that Hunter can speak just fine.
Okay. But there's a picture of Summer leaning against the milk bottles.
Yeah, they put them there. Well, I think I put them there in the middle because there's no room on the other side of me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I put them there because...
See, he's mitigating his risk in this conversation. And that's, again, we go back to, if she is non-responsive, which is one of the theories, right, guys? There's always been this theory of, this idea that says, okay, if it's a dry drowning and it's starting to, go sideways and she's starting to become lethargic and all of those other medical issues start to kick in, he recognizes something's going on here. And I think he's afraid. And at 15, who can blame him? Right? I mean, I can tell you story after story after story where, you have to have compassion for people in the circumstance that they find themselves in. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means they don't recognize the totality of the circumstances. And when you're trying to solve homicides, it's every little piece fits into something somewhere. And Hunter here is mitigating those pieces that he wants to put onto the table, because he's basically parroting some of my concepts.
I want to talk about the dry drowning. And again, this is just IMO, in my opinion. I think Hunter was doing his own research and saw what people were saying. Now, put a 1 in chat if you think it's interesting that the TBI took his phone and never gave it back. Put a 2 in if you say, yeah, no big deal. I've always thought for a 15-year-old to lose his phone and they would not give it back is something. Is something. Considering he was just along for the ride. And I hope Andrew understands what I'm saying. I hope Andrew understands what I'm saying. I am not blaming Hunter. But they're not going to take your shit unless there's evidence on it. Not gonna happen. Forget it.
That I'm giving him. Oh yeah. Oh, the milk. Yeah. I put them. So he didn't want to say, he had them first in the back, and then of course in the back of the truck, the groceries and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden he's got, this idea, says, well, in reality, I put them next to her. Okay. And so he's mitigating his risk. And I mean, we can go through a deception class all day long, right? I mean, there's a lot going on at this table. We all recognize that. But what's really going on here is a 15-year-old who has a desire to want to tell the truth. Okay. And in an interview room, what I've done many times, I'd look at a person who I know who had guilty knowledge about something. And I would say, just out of curiosity, do you see a neon light on my forehead flashing? And they kind of like, well, okay, I'm not stupid. Neither are you. You're better than this. Let's keep moving. And so that once you get them over that hurdle, they'll keep moving with the truth. And eventually the truth will present itself, whatever that means. And it may be a good thing or a bad thing. You never know.
She was sitting by the window, and then...
Was she sleeping?
No, she wasn't even sleeping at the time.
Okay.
I just set them in the middle because if they were to fall and spill, it would be on me, and I don't feel like cleaning up no truck mess.
Okay. It looks like she's against the door, though, in that picture.
I wasn't there when that picture was took.
Oh, okay. When did they take that picture? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I believe the one with the milk jugs was sitting right there in front of my house, because that's exactly how that baby was when...
Now, Allie interjects herself because for the very first time, she's actually saying, I saw that baby. So now we have 2 eyewitnesses. You have Hunter, and now for the very first time, Allie's saying that baby was sitting right in front of her house.
She did. April C. said, if Hunter admits to seeing Summer on the 15th now as an adult, the metadata will bust him. I don't know what you're talking about. However, he admits he didn't. Nothing will happen because he was only 15 at the time of his first statement. It is more than proven that Summer Wells was alive on June 15th. What is not proven is where is she and what happened to her. There's cameras all over. Susan said, where is the phone now as Hunter's mom has passed? Last I heard, still with the investigators.
In that car. And that's how that baby was laying, quote unquote.
Before they left.
Okay, well.
Before they left. See, that doesn't make sense. They hadn't bought the milk yet.
When you were in the car, where'd they put the milk?
Well, they gave it to me.
They gave it to you.
Not.
See, Mom is trying to intervene here and mitigate his risk. That's what's going on here.
To keep, but
to put it away.
Yeah.
And where did you put it?
I had it sitting on my lap until we got out the car.
Got it. And out here?
Yeah, out here.
Okay.
Now, see, the reason the milk jugs are so important to them is because they realize something happened to Summer.
Yeah, they're really a timestamp, Chris. If we're gathering evidence about what happened to her, I would say the photo of Summer with the milk jugs really is a timestamp.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is that. Yeah, I totally agree, because if they've got her on video, i.e. Candace on video and Grandis going into the store and buying the milk.
I have a theory about Allie's phone blowing up the whole time. I know some people said, oh, she's playing a game. She's just not paying attention. I still think it was Candace. For some reason, I can't prove it. Just a gut feeling. Just a gut feeling. Zach wants a Discord invite. I can message it to you on Facebook. I can do it. And you see the red Subaru driving by during this interview. It's more intimidation. Watch what you say. Can't prove it. Nothing concrete here. Nothing like that. But for whatever reason, our girl Can't was doing damage control.
Okay, which I'm assuming they probably have. Then that milk makes it to the car, and it's utilized to prop her up. Okay. And there's been a lot of theories. There's been a lot of, speculation about, her lips being blue and all this. Okay, well, that very well could have been. That's possible, but we don't know that yet. And we may never know that, because if it was a dry drowning and then ultimately, a cover story had to be played. That's what put, even the story of the boys taking her down the stairs because she was lethargic. Remember that story? And that she fell and hit her head. They may have gotten home and said, boys, get out here, help me with Summer. And then the kids were utilized, to carry her into the house. And she may have said, take her downstairs to lay down. Or
I need to explain something. Cat OG said, oh, Zach, that's not a joke. You'll learn. But any probs, email Brooks and I'll deal with it. If you've been around more than a minute, I'm not allowed to touch buttons. Okay? So, Zach, when you check your messenger, I put the Discord invite in there. If I messed it up, well, Cat will fix it. That's all I can say. All right? That's all I can say. By the way, if anybody has any comments, complaints, suggestions, please email it. Please email it and customer service will deal with it. Promise they will. You'll actually love their response.
Candace may even been right behind them, because when I went into that cubby hole, holy cow. I mean, you felt like you were going to another destiny. And you're as we're going down, Candace is going down backwards, which told me that's typically how she does it. She doesn't go forward. So are the boys?
This sounds almost kinky, what Chris McDonough is saying about how Can't goes backward and forward. Listen.
Then that milk makes it to the car, and it's utilized to prop her up. Okay. And there's been a lot of theories. There's been a lot of, speculation about, her lips being blue and all this. Okay, well, that very well could have been. That's possible, but we don't know that yet. And we may never know that, because if it was a dry drowning and then ultimately, a cover story had to be played, that's what put, even the story of the boys taking her down the stairs because she was lethargic. Remember that story? And that she fell and hit her head. They may have gotten home and said, boys, get out here, help me with Summer. And then the kids were utilized, to carry her in.
April, now I tell you what, I enjoy you. I do. But you're going to have to get off the bullshit. Okay? You don't know anything about an edited version. You don't know anything about metadata. You don't know any of these things. No one is lying to you. TBI, FBI, Hawkins County have all said Summer was alive on June 15th. Okay? If you think Candace is some kind of Oliver Stone that's sitting in there, sitting out in the yard with cigarette butts all over her in her red hoodie, editing things, well, then I got a bridge to sell you. What do you mean? Grab the link. You do know. You do know. Yeah, I'll tell you what, girl, you're too funny to get mad at. You really are.
Into the house. And she may have said, take her downstairs to lay down. Or Candace may have even been right behind them, because when I went into that cubby hole, holy cow. I mean, you felt like you were going to another destiny. And you're as we're going down, Candace is going down backwards.
This is where I say it gets kinky. Candace is going down backward in Chris McDonough's voice.
Which told me that's typically how she does it.
That's typically how Can't does it.
She doesn't go forward.
Can't doesn't go forward.
So are the boys holding Summer, this is a hypothesis, and going down that stairwell with Candace in the front? And are they, stretcher carrying her down there? And something happened. And then, Donnie gets on Donnie's involved as Donnie, the disposal.
Okay.
And she pulled up like a truck.
I'm on the record of saying this little girl did not walk off that property. I'll just say it tonight again. Okay.
Now, like we're at right now.
Right.
But the opposite around.
Got it. So it's facing that way.
Yeah.
And you're getting out on this side. And where do you put the milk?
I set them in the middle because Summer had to. Did she even get out the car or did I? I thought she got out the car too. I don't remember that.
Okay. At some point, how did the milk bottles get on the other side of her? Do you know?
I have no idea then, because she said that she was sleeping on the door. But when I got out the car, she wasn't even at the door. She was.
See, she said she was sleeping at the door. So that's a story. That's a story. That's a good place to hold on for tonight.
Facts. Now, on the interview room, Chris and Karen have a part 1 and a part 2. I only showed clips of it and, of course, entertained everybody with Andrew's meltdown. Now, speaking of meltdown, is Zach Walker still in here? Oh, Zach. Is Zach here? Is Zach here? We have a friendly little bet going on to see who's going to win the NBA. So, am I going to be wearing a Pacers t-shirt? Or is Zach going to be wearing a Thunder shirt? It's going to be fun. Because as we know, we love our friendly competitions. Ask Muzzles and Mascara when OU was playing the Volunteers. I hooked her house up with everything Boomer Sooner. Hell, they had bracelets, socks, t-shirts, cups.
Cowboy hat. I can wear the hat because I know how to answer all these questions.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can.
I probably no.
So this is a how Oklahoma are you quiz.
Okay.
Okay. First question. What is the capital of Oklahoma?
Is it Oklahoma City?
It is Oklahoma City.
Oh, let's go.
There you go. Next one. What is the state bird?
So,
Scissortail flycatcher.
can I get a hint? Can we phone a friend? No?
This is your only guy right here.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Is it a scissor tail?
A scissor tail.
Is it? Hello.
is.
I got it. Hello.
Wow.
Come on.
Okay.
2 for 2.
Okay.
Good,
2
good
for 2.
hint.
Okay.
Good
Next
hint.
one. The best place to get milk and ice cream.
Oh, Brahms.
Brahms.
Come on.
Have you been to Brahms?
I have not.
You got to go.
I do.
But
have
at
to
least
go.
you know.
Yeah, I know. Everybody tells me
Okay.
to get the bag of burgers, and I
Okay.
just, it's not really in my. It's not.
Who's telling you to get the bag of burgers?
I think I posted it on Twitter when I first got here,
Okay.
and that's been like a
Okay.
thing. Everybody's like, "Have you gone to Brahms yet?" And just a bag of burgers. I don't know, like in my
Yeah.
head, if that's normal. So
It's pretty good. They're
Yeah.
pretty good. Okay. What is Bedlam?
is that a wait? Say it again.
What is Bedlam?
I don't know. Is that a place?
That's OU versus OSU. Zach Walker, I'm already loving this competition. He says, funny, you set the bet after our clutch player gets injured. Dude, I don't put no money in machine unless I know I'm going to win. Like I said, blue's going to bring out your eyes.
It's not a place.
I have no idea.
It's when OU and OSU play.
And it's like
They call it Bedlam.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't have known
Yeah.
that.
What is a Sooner?
I know it's the mascot for OU, but
It is. Do you know what it is?
Is it like a
originally?
minor? It's in my mind, maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's
No.
some Oklahoma thing
No,
to
that's
do.
a good guess. So, have you heard of the land run?
No.
So, Oklahoma, how they divvied up the land at the beginning
Mhm.
was that they had a land run. They had people literally stake claims in land. They said go, and everybody went and staked claims in land.
Okay.
The Sooners went before everybody else. They went sooner than everybody and
Oh.
cheated and got their land before, staked the best
So
claim.
Sooners are cheaters.
Sooners are cheaters. Bingo.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
That's gonna be
last one.
controversial.
What's the color of the Oklahoma flag?
Do we have a flag? Okay. I want to say blue and orange.
Just say
But
the first. Just
I
say the
don't
first
know.
color you thought of.
I don't know. Red.
No. The first color you just said.
Oh, blue.
That's
Is
the
it
right
blue?
answer. Blue.
Okay. Hello.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm
I
gonna
feel
let
like
you.
what was that? 3 for 6? Yeah, that's
4 for 6.
Yeah, 4 for 6.
I'm gonna give you a choice. You can
Oh,
pick
obviously
whatever.
the black hat.
Okay.
That's
okay.
got to go.
All right. I need you to look into the camera. Give it a little tip. Give it a little howdy.
Howdy.
All right, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Now, who's going to be here tomorrow? Who is going to be here tomorrow? And I have a very important question to ask. Do you want to continue this conversation about the information that has come out about Summer Wells? Or do you want updates on Jack and Lily? And there are quite a few. Or do you want to talk about a very, very disturbing case out of West Virginia? Sonia said both. Muscle said she'll try depending on work. Hey Jude said Summer. Bama Cat just said, I'll be here. I'll be here. Well, let me put my thinking cap on and we will figure it out. I think we do need to do an update on Jack and Lily. I actually need to get a lot of stuff together for that because I've been talking to a woman that lives in Nova Scotia. She actually lives there. She's telling me some things that are going on the scene. I would love for her to come up. The West Virginia case might be a little tough to talk about on the tube, if you know what I mean. So we'll brainstorm. We'll talk about it in Discord. And hey, in the meantime, Can you think of a better chat to be in? Come on. Can you think of one? Oh, hold on. Jinbug, I'll be here in the AM before my trip. Damn, girl, I need a trip. I need a trip. But not like a damn trip like Dawn and Candace are taking us on. Damn can't. Dawn the con. Sons of bitches. They drive me nuts. Carrie G said a wild Friday. Let's do it. We can cover a bunch of different shows. Woo, we can do it. I say a bunch of different shows, a bunch of different cases. Anyway, big round of applause for the Mod Squad. I don't know how you all do it because sometimes it gets crazy, and that's okay. We love it. We love different opinions. We love different attitudes. The whole 9 yards. Okay, Pat solved it. Lily and Jack. Pat makes the rules. WWPD. Well, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. And in the meantime,
ones was she watching?
She was just watching. If I can remember it, not